Have you ever heard of this concept of being in the flow or the flow state? I think most people are familiar with it, but not always in the context of work. Well, the flow state is all about being in the zone, being so engaged in a task, in a project, in a job, whatever the case may be, where you're just fully engrossed in the moment, at the task at hand. This often occurs to people in sports and other activities. Like, for example, I like to surf. Well, after I paddle for a wave and I pop up, I am completely in the zone because I have to be completely focused on the wave, how it's moving, how I'm moving, and it's a beautiful state because you're so present and there's not a care in the world at that point. And it's one of these experiences where time just passes and you don't even realize it. And the same type of experience is possible at work. And this is something that everyone strives for, whether they realize it or not. Because some of the things that I hear a lot are that they're either really bored at work, they're not feeling challenged, or they're feeling stressed out and they're overwhelmed. And if you read the book Flow by this author whose name is impossible to pronounce, Mihaly something something, what he tells you is that the flow state is made possible when you hit that sweet spot in a task or an activity that is neither boring or too not challenging, and also it's not on the other end of the spectrum, which is stressed out and overwhelming. So if you're in a job that is too easy, too slow, too boring, you're not going to hit that flow state. If you're in a job that's too demanding, too stressful, whatever, you're not going to hit it either. But if you're one of the lucky few who found a company that knows how to run their business, that has, let's say, a sales organization that pushes their people, but not too much, and has a product that's interesting to learn about, that's really engaging to sell to customers, well, chances are you're going to hit this magical flow state. And that's what you want. That's what being sufficiently challenged is all about. Because think about it. Think about those times in your career where you felt that way, when you felt fully engaged and present and locked in. I'm sure you've had days, I certainly have, over the course of my sales career where I was so locked in. I might be at the office from 7:30 to 5 o'clock, and the hours, they just fly by because I am just so locked in from one call to the next, to the next, to the next, and it's just boom, boom, boom. I'm on top of it. I'm handling it. It's not easy, but it's also not too difficult, right? I've achieved a certain level of mastery where it's still a challenge, and therefore it's still fun, it's still a thrill, it's still engaging. That's what you want. You want to be engaged. The majority of the workforce is disengaged. Now, if you're a salesperson, you probably struggle with being overwhelmed because these insane expectations that are placed upon you. But it could be either overwhelmed or underwhelmed. Doesn't matter. The point is the same. You want to change your environment if it's one pole or the other. If that's just the culture and despite your best efforts there's nothing you can do about it, you want to find a better environment. And the way that you do that is you talk to people who work there and you ask them. So this is the process that I share with all of my clients for how to arrange phone calls with other account executives or with other people doing the job that you're interested in, so you can have a 30-minute call and say, hey, what is a typical day like? Are you guys just overwhelmed? Are you guys bored? Like, do you like your job? Right? And based on those answers, you get to figure out what are the really good places to work. Because Glassdoor ain't going to tell you that. The company's website is not going to tell you that. So look before you leap and find a happy home where you can be sufficiently challenged and you can achieve that flow state where the hours just fly by and you're really enjoying it. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. If you're feeling bored or overwhelmed, the answer is that sweet spot. And that answer is achieving a flow state made possible by being sufficiently challenged. And finding the companies that have that environment is something that I can help you with. It's extremely important. And if you'd like to understand how this process works and how all of my clients are able to fully vet a company and a sales org and an opportunity before they dive in, then send me a message and we'll schedule a consultation and we'll talk about how this all works. Thanks.